Hey friends, welcome to the Empowered Homes Podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to grow strong families by connecting church and home. This is the first episode of the new year, joined in studio with Meghan. Meghan, welcome.
Hey friends.
We are in 2025.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about it.
We're here. Happy New Year, everybody. We're here. We got an exciting year planned. And how was your holidays, Meghan?
It was good. Yeah, we got to travel and see family, and our kids got to play with cousins, and they just played and played and played. And where we traveled, they have basements there, because in Texas, we don't have basements.
Oh, yeah. Up north.
Up north.
Yeah.
And we realized we miss our basement because they just were down there the whole time playing, and it was so fun.
I guess it's, because in the basement, you can't hear them.
Right.
But when they're upstairs,
Yes.
it's like clong, clong,
Yes,
clong.
you
Yeah.
can't, which could be dangerous. They invented this game where they were playing some sort of like Nerf gun shooting in the dark.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
several children came up with like bonks on their heads because they ran into the wall or to each other. So we did hear them when they did that. But other than that,
Yeah.
it was like
Super fun.
so fun for them. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. And then we came home and had a quiet week until the new year came.
Yeah.
That's good. How about you?
Yeah. Great holidays. Spent time with family, the kids. We had, just a great Christmas. It was one of the, I guess, as the kids get older, I know you got Logan, who's older. Charlie's kind of 7th grade, hitting that. He didn't get many presents, but what he did get was real expensive.
Yeah.
Like Chapman got a thing of Nutella and like one little Lego set. Like he got a million gifts, but cost wise. So it was interesting kind of seeing the difference between older brother and little brother while we're doing gifts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had fun. Just spent a lot of family time together, did a lot of nothing, hanging out, playing video games, and got to go on some hunting trips and get to go out in the woods, and got a hilarious story of the kids. We did a night hunt, and we weren't seeing anything. There wasn't nothing coming out, and they were all tired, just pitch black out. And so I said, hey, let's go walk over in this tree line and just see if we can see some I don't know, pigs or whatever. So we go, and as all dads should, and Eric could agree, like you have to scare your kids. Like it's part of being a dad. So I'm walking in front of them and I say, oh no, run. And Chapman, he's my youngest.
I can picture it.
The fight or flight
Yes.
in that kid, he was gone. Like
I'm sure.
it was like that blur from Sonic that just.
Well, that's how he's always run anyway. But
he was in the back of the truck before I could we were far, and she's like, is he being serious? She's always skeptical of anything I'm doing. And then Charlie we're running. Me and him are running. We're like side by side running. And I was like, go, go, go. And then I look to my right and I see his shoes like match my face. And I was like, that's not his head. It's his feet. And he had hit these like plastic chairs that were just laying in the steel, did a full somersault flip over the chairs, and I felt terrible. I was like, oh no, he's hurt. And I get him rolled over and he's giggling like uncontrollably, and then I lose it and we're just laughing. But I'll never forget his feet, like me looking over and just seeing feet in the air because he tumbled over.
almost a practical joke gone wrong.
Oh, totally wrong, but it was so funny.
funny.
And I asked him, he's got a little bruise on his knee for where he hit the chair, and I'm like, how's your knee doing? And then we just laugh about it all over again.
Yeah.
So fun memories,
Fun.
just fun stuff, and had a great Christmas break. But it's New Year's, it's 2025.
That's
and
right.
Empowered Homes, we got some great things coming this next year. A lot of great new resources. We've got a lot of great places we're going.
Yeah.
A lot of new partners, churches that we're working with and doing some great stuff. But Meghan, What are we doing today?
Well, today we want to talk through our newest resource that we just put out, and we're excited because we have big goals for this year, exciting things planned for our ministry partnerships and for the resources that are coming out. And so one of those goals is that we want to have a resource guide every month. And so the first one that we released is the New Year Reflections and Intentions guide. And so it's just walking through simply that, reflecting on 2024 and building some intentions and goals. And, and people call them all different things, right? Goals, resolutions, intentions, habits. And those are, I think you have to do or call it what works for you. And hopefully this will just be a sweet guide of walking you or your family through last year and then setting some goals or some really practical intentions for the new year. And what I love is in the process, I think you get to just grow in self-awareness and you get to grow as a family. And the discussion, I feel like there's going to be a richness in the discussion that you have with the questions that we're going to go through. So we're actually going to walk through this just like you would yourself. Yeah, we're going to give you an example of kind of how this works. And these resource guides too, like one of the biggest things we hear from parents is, they feel overwhelmed or inadequate. And so we want to give usable resources that anybody, if you've got an hour to sit with your family, you got 10 minutes. You can take this and have meaningful conversations and lead your home towards Jesus. And that's our goal with these resource guides. And Meg, you wrote this, and it's incredible. I'm super excited about it. Do we want to just jump in? Yeah, I do. But first, I got one thing. One, I was thinking through too. I love that we talk about doing things around the table, and so even just the thought of breaking up this guide. So, you might look at some resources and go, "Oh, that's a lot to do," But just breaking up the guide and doing a few questions at dinner over the next few weeks. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like we have to get this in January, or we have no goals for the rest of the year. So breaking it up, and we'll walk through that. But one thing I wanted to like talk about before we move in is I didn't know this. Okay, I didn't know this stat, but did you know that there's a Quitter's Day? Yes. Okay, I didn't know. And I only know that because I think there's a commercial on right now. Because you quit everything? Is that why you know? Well, no. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I've quit plenty of things in my life. But there's a commercial. I don't know if it's like Planet Fitness or LA Fitness or one of the fitnesses that's like Power Pass Quitter's Day. Oh, yeah. And like the whole thing is like be motivated, Power Pass. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. There is a Quitter's Day. But I didn't know that. Yeah. Do you know when it is? I can guess. Okay, guess. I have no idea. I think it says it in the commercial. And if you're watching this and you're like, you idiot, it's this commercial. I see it all the time. I'm going to see it tonight. I guarantee you I'll see it. Be like, I don't know. Is it the 20th? It's the second Friday in January. The second Friday in January. So that's of 2025, that's January 10th. 2 weeks. That I was just, I know. I've give up on things. I've quit things. I just thought it was like further. Yeah. I thought at least March, right? Yeah, or April. Like April's when everything, like you just give up on it. 2 weeks. Quitter's Day. 88% of people. Okay, is that globally or is that just America? Well, I mean, I don't know where these, it's on the internet, so it's definitely reliable, but I don't know if they're talking. Well, there's countries globally. I've been to with some of our partners that their goals, they're not sitting around doing resolutions. No, true. Like they're just trying to live life. This is true. So we're very privileged actually to be able to sit and do this. Yeah, it probably is America. Yeah. So get past Quitter's Day. That's right. And if you wait till after Quitter's Day to do your intentions, you win. Then you probably will be fine. Yeah. So you won't quit. Go through this and let's just whenever you start this with your family. Yes. You have 2 weeks to not quit. Like if you quit before 2 weeks, you hit Quitter's Day. 2 weeks. Yeah, that's the goal. I should have put that in there. New Year reflection and intentions for individuals, couples, and families. So what I love about this, I'm going to ask you questions that you put in here, and you can ask me questions. Yeah. But it starts off with looking back at the last year, reflecting on the good stuff, the bad, the ugly, what you learned, what you wish went better. And for this, I love you can sit around with your family and ask these questions. But if you're I love journaling, and just sitting down and maybe just going through a few and journaling about these questions really just
open your heart and allow yourself to really reflect. It could be really good. So, Meg, I'm going to ask you one of the questions.
Okay.
There's several on here, but one question on here, it says, what have I done in the past year that I feel good about? So you're asking yourself that question.
Yes.
What is one thing you've done in the past year
That I
that
did.
you feel good about?
Well, I think the thing that sticks out is I trained for and completed a high rocks race, which for those of you who enjoy athletic pursuits, if you kind of cross a Spartan race with a CrossFit Games, that's kind of what a high rocks is.
Yeah.
And this is in no way a brag, but I competed with somebody that's 10 years younger than me. So we were partners. So we got put in her division. So we weren't competing. I mean, I wasn't competing, but like I was going with these people who are like incredibly younger than me. And we finished middle of the pack. So I feel good about that. Like I was proud of myself for training and doing it. And I probably could have done better, but I wasn't last, so I was glad for that.
You weren't last. That's awesome.
And I crossed the finish line like on my feet.
And just reflecting too, you kind of had an injury last year.
Well, yeah, at the end of 2023, so really the beginning of 2024, I had badly sprained my ankle, and honestly, I was still having pain like probably up until a month ago. I got some new shoes though recently, and I have not had ankle pain since then. So there you go, guys. You want
to give
shoes.
a commercial for your shoes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should. I don't know. They might get mad if we say their brand on our very popular, widespread.
They Reeboks. Yeah, you got them Reeboks. You got the Shaq 2004s.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I feel
awesome.
good about that.
Good job.
Yeah, it was fun,
Yeah.
and I like to do hard things, and honestly, it was a big challenge to train for, and it was like more of a mental. I'm also training for a half marathon, which has been really mentally hard. And that's coming in next week or something.
Me and Jen did a Spartan, not Beast,
March, right?
Super last year. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a good time. But I like challenging too. I don't know if I could do that though. I
don't know. It's crazy.
If I'd be last, but I'd finish.
But I mean, this is the age that I feel that I am.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to win anything. There are people my age that are winning a lot of things. I'm not trying to win anything. At this point, I'm just trying to finish some things. And if I can do it, I'm proud of myself. And it's really a kindness to myself. Like, I'm just going to work hard to move rather than be, super crazy about it. Because who has time to be crazy about it?
I love it. That's
anyway.
good.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. So there are, how many questions are there? 10, 11, 12. I'm a good counter. There's 12 questions total. I just had to count them. I actually wrote them. Anyway, so you 12 questions total, and one of those questions is, Bobby, what was your biggest regret of 2024?
Oh, man. Biggest regret of 2024. There's several things that I look back on. I love to say I live with no regrets, always going. 100%, no regrets.
Isn't that like somebody's tattoo? They get it spelled wrong. Yeah.
Spelled wrong. No regrets. There's several things that you make mistakes, or gosh, I wish I would have done that, and I tend to like move on real quick from those, so it doesn't bother me. But there's one that really stands out to me, and I think it like haunts me thinking about it. So I mentioned we've gone on hunting trips, and I haven't shot my gun in years because my kids, I want them to shoot stuff. And we were hunting on a friend's property that, we had very specific rules on what we could or couldn't do, and I wanted to be respectful because the last thing you want to do is shoot something you're not supposed to shoot and never get asked to come back.
Yeah.
And so we were hunting, and this huge deer came out, and all our listeners are like, is that all he does is hunt?
Right.
We're like just coming out of the season.
we live in Texas. So
we're in Texas. So we take care of the animal. We eat the animal. It's not, we're not like
get
killing Bambi.
Are you afraid of that?
We're not killing Bambi. Like, this is a Texas beautiful thing. Great to do with your kids. But this buck came out, and I saw it, and I thought, we have to shoot this thing. It's amazing. It was kind of wonky. Like the antlers were different and unique. And I'm texting with the guy who owns the property. And I'm like, hey, this just came out. I'm going to let Charlie shoot it if you're okay with it. And he just didn't respond. Never heard back from him. Like, someone say something like, can we shoot this? And the more I looked at him and the more I saw him, I was like, I don't know if he counts as what we're allowed to shoot. And I don't know. And I'm going back and forth, and we're sitting there, and Charlie's like, it's okay, Dad. Like, I don't think he's one that we can shoot. So I'm sitting there going, okay, whatever. So we shoot a different deer. It's a little bitty thing, and it's legal deer that you can shoot, and Charlie's happy. We find it and all this stuff. Later that night, finally get a hold of the guy. I'm like, this was this massive thing. I'm explaining it to him. He's like, why didn't you shoot it?
Oh.
And I'm haunted by that. I regret.
You regret that?
Every time I've sat down since that, I'm like, why didn't I tell him to shoot that deer? Like, it would have been awesome. So
Because you weren't certain.
I wasn't 100%.
So you made.
But I went from like immediately shoot him to talking myself out of it and even talking Charlie out of it to now I'm like, every time I'm like, gosh, even like last time we went hunting, Charlie was like, we should have shot that deer, Dad. I'm like, I know. So that's a big regret. But I try not to live in those regrets too. It's all hunting season.
It just haunts you.
It's almost over. We may bring redemption to it and shoot a bigger one. So anyways, that's so good to have those reflections and just to think about those moments on these questions that you have for just to like, I think we do a terrible job. I do a terrible job, not we, of really celebrating the good, the bad, the ugly, and we just move so fast. Mm-hmm. And this is a real practical way for us to reflect and remember and write those stories down. There's areas for us to kind of write and dream and think. But moving forward, so we look at the last year, moving forward into this next year. You have 12 questions about dreaming and looking ahead. I'll start with you, Meg, one of these questions. Let's see which one I want to do. Okay, easy one. What's one place you'd like to travel to this next year?
Well, I want to travel to all the places, but one thing that I guess would be a family goal, or at least for Joe and I too, whether it's Joe and I or our family, is to get to every state, because we have a picture map on our wall where we can put the pictures in the shape of each state that we visit.
Oh, yeah.
And so this year I want to visit a new state, and I love to hike and be outside. So preferably a state that I can hike to the top of a very tall mountain.
There you go.
And that is like a dream.
Is Idaho on that list?
Yeah.
Should be.
Idaho. We haven't gone to Idaho yet.
Yeah.
So probably easy one would be Colorado, though.
Yeah.
A little easier.
Have you never been to Colorado?
No. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
I know.
Fun fact, did you know Colorado, or the Rockies at least, used to be a part of Texas?
No.
Yeah, because Texas is awesome. Sorry,
Texas
all of our non-Texas people.
That's right.
That's a fun Texas history fact
I didn't
for you.
know that.
Yeah, all the Rockies. We had everything.
Really?
We took all the good stuff.
We took it all.
It was just all up there, and then it all kind of got broken up. But we won't get into that. That's awesome. So Colorado,
or really anywhere
Yeah.
with a mountain, or any of the states we haven't hit, which is like mostly like north and east. A lot of east. We haven't been northeast, and but that's our goal, is to get to all of them.
I like it. Colorado, visit the 50 states. Estes Park, Colorado is probably one of my favorite places to go to.
Yeah.
I love Estes Park.
Yeah.
It's right off of Rocky Mountain National Park. It's beautiful.
I love
Amazing. It. Very good.
All right. Moving on to you. Let's see. What habits can you adopt in order to grow spiritually this year?
What habits can I adopt to grow spiritually this year? I think a lot of times, like, because I'm on staff, I'm a pastor, it's like, oh, don't you just pray in your office all day anyways? Or read your Bible all the time? I won't say who says that jokingly every day, my wife, but it's like, did you have fun praying today, working? I'm like, I would do a lot more than that, but I do pray. All that to say is, I think as a pastor, like I'm constantly looking for ways to grow spiritually. I think a lot of times if you're in ministry, you understand like I know people who the only time they're in God's word is when they're preparing for a lesson. They're not really spending time with God on their own. And so for me, one of the things that I really tried to research and look and find is, different prayer, different ways to pray, different prayer guides. Always look for new like books and devotionals, all that stuff. And I found this new one right before the end of the year. It's an incredibly simple prayer journal. It's broken up into 3 sections. You put the date of the day. It's got 3 sections. It's got your personal prayers, your family prayers, community prayers, and then it goes through those 3 sections on the left side, and the right side it says, who am I grateful for? Like the people I'm grateful for. And you list it. There's like 5 blanks to list. And then there's like several boxes of like, what's God teaching you? Like just to reflect on, like, what are you learning from God? What are you asking from God? What are the specific things that you're asking for him? And I've been doing that for about a week now, and it's been really fun to kind of look through and see, but also like the asking God specifically, like I'm putting pen to paper on requests, not just like, God, I want $1 million, like, or just like these real vague things, but very specific, pinpointed things. And that's been a reminder for me of like, he's a God who hears, he's a God who listens, he's a God who cares. And it allows me to not just spend time praying and kind of going through those rote prayers, but to really like initiate some new habits. So that prayer guide or prayer journal, I think you can find it on Amazon. We can link it. It's not, there's nothing fancy about it, but that's one of the habits that I really want to use this next year. And it's already been super rich, but I got to do it another week so I don't make quitter's week. Yeah. So
get past. Gotta
10
make
days.
The 2 weeks. That's right. Yeah. Something our family has started to do is praying together at night, but we've been using the Lectio365 app to guide us and not listening to it. Joe's been reading it over us. And that has been really sweet. I've been loving that. It's very reflective, and it also allows for interaction to kind of speak about, if you've been carrying something that was stressful, say it. And then it goes into if you, what are the things that you need to confess? And so we just say, okay, in the quietness of your heart, like, what do you need to confess? But I love that it prompts, and so it gives you a framework, but it also allows for you to share freely and stuff like that. So that's something that we're doing as a family that has been really sweet, and hopefully will help our kids and us grow spiritually.
Yeah, that's all. And over the break, me and my oldest read through Proverbs, and now it's his doing. We're on a reading plan together, and he came up with it, found it. He's got like all his friends. He sent it to everybody. He's like, join me. We're doing this together. He's all rallying up everybody. It's
such a galvanizer, that kid.
He is a galvanizer. He's sending like my in-laws. He's sending everybody, join. Let's read this together. Let's go through it. So we're going through that. It's been fun having conversations. So as we're reading, I think he was in part of Genesis the other day. Again, not to make everything about hunting, but
you're very passionate about it.
I know. Well, it's just so fresh right now. But we were on a trip, and he was reading. He had to keep track of all his stuff, and it was about when God gave Adam control of the land and the animals, and to take care of and nurture and everything, to kill and to eat and to go through. And he's like, it's okay. It's biblical. What we're doing is biblical. I'm like, yes. So
I mean, I like hunting too.
Yeah.
For good deals and thrift store finds.
Exactly. It's just a different type of hunting. So does Jen.
Yeah, I know she does. So. We've done that together several times.
But yeah, I love what you have here, Meg, with this guide of reflecting on last year, really tough questions kind of to set those goals. And then you have some just fun stuff in here. What's the next part?
Yeah, there's a little page. So this is for free printable. So you can go to our website and print it off. And there's a little page that has just sections for putting a word of the year, an inspiring Bible verse, a motivational quote, and then writing a prayer. And you can print one of these for each of your family members, and even for littles who can't maybe write words, they can draw pictures. And so just a visual, a really fun visual thing that you can display, somewhere in your home, maybe in their bedrooms, and really just to help sort of keep it in the forefront of our minds of why we're doing what we do when we set intentions. And we say, and I've heard said, intentions mean nothing unless you have actions. And I actually thought really hard and long about using the word intentions because of that, like setting intentions but not actually doing anything. But really it's more about intentional living, and it says on this sheet, it says inspiration to live intentionally. And so being intentional about what we're doing in our lives and being careful. And so that's kind of the idea behind that little section. And then, at the end, I just added a New Year prayer. And last year, our resource was a New Year prayer for your family. And so this was similar to that format of just really sitting with yourself or with your family and praying together and really asking God to speak in your lives and help you set good intentions that are for His purposes and for His plans.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love the visual side too, because I think for the kids, having those visuals out on display or on the mirror or on their bulletin board is just a constant reminder. And we have stuff in our cars that is a reminder for the kids of where our goals and where we want to go. And just great job on this resource. And again, you can download this. You can make it your own. If you're a ministry leader listening, you're like, oh man, I'd love to get that in front of my people. Take it, use it. We just want it to be an opportunity for families to be able to really be intentional, like you said, Meg, of looking ahead, because a lot of times, and I was working on an article this morning, a lot of times like our calendars control us when we need to be controlling our calendars. And so looking at this next year with intentionality so that we can, one, reflect Jesus, but two, we can really pour into our kids and think through the ways that yes, we have sports, we have all the academic stuff, we have everything, but to really, as parents, to go, how am I going to point my kids closer to Jesus this next year? And what is that going to look like? And how am I going to do it? There's not a lot of families that are sitting around doing that. And this is a great tool for us to do it.
Yeah, that's definitely my hope and our prayer, right?
It's amazing. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Meg.
Happy New Year.
Eric, Happy New Year. We got a great year coming with Empowered Homes. Meg, what's a little teaser of a few things that's coming up on the horizon for 2025?
Oh man, when we kick off, we're jetting to Tennessee and to Missouri. Yep. And we've got several events here in Texas that we're doing for equipping. So we're excited about all of that. And then of course we have all of our new resources. Our next podcast episode, I'm really excited about. We interviewed a woman who's doing great ministry for emerging adults and students and kids who maybe aren't quite ready for college, or just having a conversation about preparing your kids for really entering into the real world and what do they need to know and how can you equip them as parents. And so I'm excited for that to be releasing soon after this episode. And then of course we're still having a lot of episodes. We still have a lot of episodes of Grace in the Chaos podcast, which has been really popular. And it's been huge. Yeah. I mean, like, it's rich. Like, it's so rich, these conversations. And so if you have not hopped over to our Grace in the Chaos podcast with Dr. Ryan Rush and Dr. Chris Sneller, please do that, because it really is for, they're parents of special needs children, but they're really talking just parenting in general. And so it's really, it's beautiful and like, so every time I listen, because I get to prepare them, so every time I listen, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so good. And so already implementing things that they say all the time. So
yeah, the families interviewed, the stories in those are just amazing. And we've got some great stuff. You're going to hear more from me and Meg this year. We're going to do some stuff geared towards dads only, moms only, and really just allow God to lead and open up more doors and for us to connect church and home, because that's our heart. So if you want more information about anything, if you want this guy right here, the New Year Reflections and Intentions Guide, you can go to empoweredhomes.org. And just if you're not a newsletter subscriber, go on that main page and put your email in, because we're going to be sending a lot of stuff this year. We're super excited about it. Meg, thanks for just all you do and helping this thing keep going.
It's so fun. I love it.
Fun. So thanks, guys. We cannot wait to see what's in store for this year for you, your family. And just know, me and Meg, we spend a lot of time praying for everybody that uses these resources, and we don't take this lightly, and we love what we get to do. So thank you. We're grateful. So again, if you want more information, go to empoweredhomes.org and sign up.